everyone. Hopefully you're having an incredible day today. I'm Alex Light with Sparky3, bringing you today Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom. I'm really excited to talk about this game. I'm obviously the only one here that's played it. The boys are notoriously not really huge Zelda fans. I do have both the boys here with me, though, at the start of the show. Zach, how you doing? How you feeling?
I'm doing good. Feels weird. Haven't heard the opening song in a while.
That is true. I haven't heard it in a while since you've been coming in late for a while, but it's good to have you here at the start, man. Then we got John. John, how are you, man?
Hey, you could have just stepped outside for a few minutes.
Yeah,
and
really,
walked
just
in
kind
again.
of bring it in.
I mean, I could. I just enjoy walking in and yelling about something.
Whatever it is, whatever we're talking about, just yell about it.
Yes.
Yeah, just your grand entrance. How's everyone feeling today? Everyone feeling good?
I'm doing good.
Woke up from a nap about an hour ago.
All right, I bet. So nice and refreshed or a little groggy, one of the two.
A little bit of both.
Fair enough. So, yeah, going to be talking about Tears of the Kingdom. That's going to be the main thing that's going to be on the slate today. And then really whatever else the boys want to chat about. One thing to just note, we will be on a break next week. A couple of us are going to be unavailable. So it is what it is. Break next week, be back the week after that. Which I want to say there was something coming out by the time we come back for the next show. But I don't remember what it was. I was going to look back at the game release schedule. There was something, so I'm going to have to go back and take a peek at that. But first and foremost, you can go check out some Rogue Energy. We'd appreciate that. Referral link down below. Tiger's Blood did come out. We're all drinking right now. The boys are a little iffy on it, which is fair. I feel like it is. It's not a taste for everyone. Strawberry, watermelon, coconut. It is primarily watermelon, in my opinion, with that strawberry coming right behind it, and then the slightest hint of coconut. But you boys aren't really feeling it though, which is fair. It's not for everyone.
I also don't know how much you put in here because I just kind of handed you my shaker and walked away.
That's true. That's true. Just a full scoop amount. I didn't know if you like to go more powder because I'm more powder.
Certain flavors I do, not all of them.
See, I'm more powder. I always go more than a single scoop. That's me personally, but a single scoop is that one serving.
It's not bad. It's just it's kind of muted.
Yeah.
Or kind of like not a very strong flavor, I would say.
Right.
Or it doesn't kind of like come out at you like some of the others do.
It doesn't just completely.
Yeah,
get you in
versus
the face.
several of the other energy flavors where it's definitely muted with the 3 different flavor aspects. I mean, it's not bad, but it very much, if you're used to like drinking like grape popsicle,
I've been drinking grape popsicle all week.
pink lemonade and things like that, you can
I gotta
definitely
get some
tell a
more
difference.
pink lemonade. I finished off my tub.
Yeah, I don't even know if they have it in right now.
Yeah.
I haven't looked, but it's not in. I need it to come back in.
Pink lemonade is good. Great popsicle. My personal favorite is still Rocket Pop. I love Rocket Pop. Sour candy is very good as well. I like my sour flavors, and sour candy is really good. Basically, almost everything is good for the most part.
I'm about to finish off my Rocket Pop too.
Rocket Pop's so good, bro. I have a few drinks left of it. I need to get it more.
The Rocket Pop is the one I just leave at work.
Yeah.
And I just make it work.
There you
That's
go.
fair.
Rocket Pop's delicious, so definitely we recommend that one. Promo code Sparky3, you get 10% off. We'd appreciate the support, as well as going over to Agent Inc. You can check out one of our jerseys. They're all super sick. And also, I wanted to give a special shout out to Agent Inc. on one thing that popped up in the Discord. The Discord, you can join in, have a great time in there. But the founder of it, Joey Nolan, he also started another Discord. What was the name? Let me pull it up real quick. The Novus Network. It is a Discord completely dedicated to people who battle addiction and are recovering from addiction. So massive shout out to that. Massive shout out to the people over at Agent Inc. and running that Discord server. I've never battled any sort of addiction, thankfully, besides maybe a shopping addiction. But I have joined the Discord server because I have known people who has battled, including my mother. So it's a very positive environment. If you go check them out over at Twitter, you can probably find a way into the Discord server. It's just open to everyone kind of joining. So big shout out to that. And also make sure to join our Discord. You can chat with us, have a great time in there. With that said, I'll go ahead and turn down the music. Zach's shaking his head because we definitely do not chat. I chat with people, in the football stuff.
Yeah, in the football chat's the only active one.
Yeah, I will say that server is big on the football stuff.
Yeah,
That's why more people listening to this show need to join. Let's talk about games too.
Yeah, every now and then, like I'll pull up my phone to look at Discord or something. I'll be like, oh man, football nerds are really at it today.
We are, man. I'm telling you, that's why we need people listening to this show right now, Gamesthetic, to come join the Discord. But hey, funny enough though, we have had at least a couple people join from AniMan Plus.
Yeah.
Like that's what's funny. It's just this show,
and then nobody talks, and then we're just like, well, we can't weave out.
Yeah, I know exactly.
You can talk.
Yeah,
I mean, I could.
We all could. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, join the Discord. Let's get it going. Look, let's be real. One day it's going to be active.
I'm just gonna start start posting different pictures of body pillows in just different places around town.
Please do. Please do. That's what you need to do if you ever end up committing again to get the Josh body pillow.
Just go to different
yeah,
places.
just go to different places around town, take a quick shot, throw it in the Discord server. That's what you need to do. Like, that'd be awesome.
Just send it to Josh.
Yeah, that would be amazing. I would love that. That would be incredible. Oh,
He would hate that.
oh my God, I know. He would be so pissed off. Like, you just get the multiple pictures of it out in public. Oh my God. How much is that body pillow again? Kind of want to make this happen now. I'll chip in.
I don't remember. I have to double check.
Well, pull it up.
It's probably gone up since I last
Yeah.
looked.
Pull it up. Let me know sometime. I'll chip into that. That sounds pretty cool. I like pissing Josh off. Shout out to Josh. All right. So let's go ahead and jump into things. Of course, Zelda Tears of the Kingdom did come out on Friday. I picked it up Thursday night. I've probably put in, I would say, at least 20 hours. I feel like it's pretty fair from Thursday to today. I've been playing it almost nonstop. And, as you guys know, and as a good friend of ours, Jared knows, and anyone who listens to the show for a while may know, I've been very, critical to a sense when it comes to Breath of the Wild. I've never, held it as the best Zelda game. I at least I feel like it was the best blueprint to lead us to the best Zelda game, but I've always stood my ground that I just don't think it's the best Zelda game, and I still believe that. I still believe a game like Twilight Princess is better. I still believe Wind Waker is better than Breath of the Wild, in terms of what makes a true Zelda game a Zelda game. But I will say everything that I've been saying for years and argued with Jared on this show once upon a time, that Breath of the Wild is the blueprint to take us to the best Zelda. Everything that I've said about that, in my opinion, has come true, and now Tears of the Kingdom, in my mind, is by far the best Zelda to ever come out. Because here's the thing, guys. Everything that was, kind of, bad about Breath of the Wild, or, what you would consider, a negative about Breath of the Wild, they fixed in every way possible. They made an unbelievable amount of quality of life improvements just to make the game, more enjoyable across the board, more accessible in various ways throughout the game. Literally everything from storytelling, which was one of my big beefs with Breath of the Wild, to the challenges, to the general dungeons and temples and stuff like that. All of that stuff that I had a beef with Breath has now completely been rectified, and now it's again, just nonstop quality of life improvements across the board. I don't really want to rush to complete the story. I really want to enjoy this game, but I did make it my mission over these past couple days to finish at least one temple, so I could really get the feel for it coming into the show, and that's why I stand firm on that. The temple, it's definitely more difficult than Breath, because those Divine Beast and Breath were so stupid easy, it was unbelievable, and that was what I hated. The boss fights, boring and easy as fuck. All the Blight Ganons, those were so easy and so stupid, anticlimactic, and it almost felt like legit, guys. It felt like a mini boss. Picture yourself going into whatever temple in let's say Ocarina of Time.
Couldn't you beat Ganon with a fishing pole?
You could beat Ganon with anything. It'd be tough as shit, but yes, you can beat Ganon with anything. I mean, you can literally get off the Great Plateau and go fight Ganon and win.
Well, no,
It'd be hard.
I distinctly remember there being a glitch for a while where you could throw your line at Ganon at him when he's going to attack, and it would disrupt him and stun him for a second, so you just slant whack on him with your actual weapon. More or less, he was getting distracted, ooh, butterfly.
Yeah, no, that was a thing.
Okay.
Yes, yeah, no, 100% a thing. But seriously, doing the first temple that I did, I also want to throw this out, which this could be a negative for people, I feel like, because the whole mindset between Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom is the game is open, go do your thing. You know what I mean? I did try to go off the path, because the game does point you in a direction of here, go to the Rito village first. It's no, I want to go to the Zora area first. That sounds cool. So that's where I went, and I got up to the area leading up to the temple. Bro, I'm talking, I was getting viciously OHKO'd. No shot did I stand any chance. Then I ended up, I was all right, I'm gonna have to come back to this, and I just kind of traveled around the map and stuff, and I finally made it over to the Rito stuff. Had no issues going through all of that then. So that is kind of a negative in my opinion. Is okay, maybe it feels like the game does kind of point you do this. So I also want to test that theory, because I believe the next one I'm supposed to go to, I think, might be the Goron Village. I could be wrong. I'm going to try to go to the Gerudos next.
So you did with it what I did with Fallen Order.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of the nature of open world games, and that it's like there's the obvious path to go. It's like,
Yep.
yeah, you can go over here.
Yep.
Good luck.
Yes.
But you can do it.
Exactly.
Which is, I mean, it's what makes those games typically fun.
Yeah. Yeah, which, like I said, I don't mind it, but I definitely see where people could view that as a negative. You know what I mean? Because, like, I know with Breath of the Wild, I think for, like the Goron, Zora, and Rito, I feel like those three are honestly pretty interchangeable in Breath of the Wild in difficulty. I would say the hardest one is definitely going to be the Gerudos, and that one's, not even that much harder.
Yeah.
But, like, this one, I definitely felt a scaling difference. But I've only seen two. And like I said, I want to go to the Gerudos next and see if it's going to be the same thing, if it's going to be like, I'm getting my shit wrecked. We'll see. But doing the first temple, first off, the process of getting there was very challenging, but in a very fun way. A little tedious getting there, but it's still very enjoyable. The actual temple itself, definitely a lot bigger. I finished it fairly quickly, but I could definitely see where some people may get stuck on it. You know what I mean? Where they may get a challenge, because you really do have to remember everything that you have at your disposal to do, because if you don't, you may have some troubles, like the ultra hand and the fusing and stuff. If you don't remember that to use this all the time, you may get stuck at times. But I will say the boss fight, huge up from anything in Breath of the Wild. In fact, it's probably one of my favorite boss fights I've ever done in a Zelda game. Like, it was a ton of fun. I had a great time with the boss fight. It felt super epic. It felt like it was like high stakes. I had a really fun time with the boss fight. In terms of like other quality of life stuff, the quick options to get into your items is nice. The way the different sortability options, they added more to make everything more easily accessible. That's great. Giving you the ability to have multiple forms of important things with you, like a pot. You throw out the pot to cook. It's one use thing, but also getting those little capsules. You get it all from a capsule machine, a Zonai capsule machine up in the sky. All super easy to get, all super easy to access. The transitions between everything, like the sky to the ground to the depths, all seamless. And guys, like I'm blown away with how well this game runs. Like, it's so smooth.
So which Switch are you playing it on?
I am on an OLED.
Okay.
So a day one, I would be kind of. That's actually a good point. I do have a release day Switch. I kind of want to play it on that and see what it's like. I may do that. Yeah. I kind of want to do that.
It's like my Smash Switch.
Yeah, exactly. I would be kind of curious how it runs for you if you end up taking my third copy.
It's like, I mean, Breath of the Wild didn't run great on it.
Yeah. Overall, like in terms of performance, I feel like it runs really well. I had one single moment where I was like, I thought the game was going to crash. The game did freeze while I was on a rail with a little cart thing, right? And it had the little loading symbol down in the corner. The music was still playing, and it just kind of kept going.
Oh,
So
how
I thought it was going to crash, but thankfully it did not. Other than that, I haven't had any issues. That was the one and only. Another thing that I really am so fucking thankful for is in terms of story stuff. They once again have like the memories that you have to kind of hunt down and find. In the first game, all it was you had the Sheikah slate and you had a photo album on there with a random fucking location in this massive world of Hyrule, and you had to go to that location and get your memory. And some of them were fairly easy, because there was one where it's like very clearly there's Hyrule Castle, a field kind of off beside it. So it's like, okay, that one's pretty easy to find because of where Hyrule Castle is. But there were some like a shot of a random entrance to a forest. I'm like, bro, that could be like 7 different forests in this game. Like, where the fuck are these memories? Getting the memories in this one are ungodly easy, but also very fun. Because basically with all of the like Ganon malice that has now like come up onto Hyrule and everything, basically these giant symbols have now appeared all over Hyrule, like on the ground. All you have to do is get up in the sky and check it out, and you can, while you're falling from the sky, just kind of look at it, and you can pinpoint where the memory is. Because basically all over this giant symbol, there's a bunch of teardrops all around it. All you have to do is find the teardrop that's fully colored in. Super easy.
Yeah.
And all the symbols look super sweet. I will say, there is definitely an order of those things, because mine is all out of context. I mean, I understand what's happening, but like the one I just got earlier, for example, definitely was probably one of the last ones I should have got.
Why is Link fighting the king all of a sudden?
And like it was funny too. I wish I could say this, and I'll tell you guys when we're done, because I know you guys don't give a fuck about this game or spoilers or anything. But I will say the last one I got was like a pure just mind blowing moment because of something else that I found. So I'm not gonna say where it is for the people that want to play this game. I found the Master Sword, right?
Okay.
And let me stress, and for anyone that knows where the Master Sword is, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The fucking odds that I found the Master Sword is astonishing. Like, I'm not kidding. Like, if I told you where the Master Sword was, and for the people who do know, like, I want the record, I found it at random. Like, it just pure odds, pure chance. I'll say this, coming out of a tower is what I'll say. Just happened to see it. And, like, the fuck. Like it was like and I told Josh where it was because he wanted to know. He doesn't really care. And Josh is like, no way I would have found it. I'm like, yeah, no shot. Just the way that I found it is just unbelievable. Like it is the odds for it are so stupid low. The game will end up pointing you where it is. If you go to like where it was in the first game,
Okay.
in the forest, it will point you to where it is. But just the fact that I found it at random is unreal. Like it is unbelievable. In terms of like other quality and life stuff, just the general mobility of the game, guys. Like, I mean, all the invention stuff, like Ultra Hand. Like, I will say, coming into the game, I did question how much I would actually use that ability. Use it all the time. It is so fun. It is so incredibly fun, and just getting around the map is so much better, dude, because of the sky. Like just going, like popping up into a tower, which basically shoots you in the sky like a fucking cannon. And then you can just kind of fly down from there, just take teleport up to a shrine you found in the sky and just kind of go from there wherever you want to go and just fall to the sky. If you can get like a Rito suit that has, wings that was in the trailer, and that can help, increase your gliding speed and stuff. So, I mean, just getting around the entire map is so much easier than it was before. Because, I mean, it wasn't bad once you got all the shrines, but it's like, gotta get all the shrines. I mean, yeah, you get a horse, but it still limits on like going up a giant fucking mountain.
Yeah.
And even the ascend is great too, just for getting up mountains and stuff quick, depending on where you kind of are and everything. Just the general mobility around the game, unreal. Sky is a lot of fun. It's not as, I guess, like wide scale as I thought it was going to be. Each time you unlock the map area,
Is it as prevalent as they made it seem?
yes and no. Like, I felt like going into the game, it would literally be across the entire map. Each area has X amount of like islands and stuff. Some have more, some have less.
Gotcha.
And like you can see over the entire region where it's like a cluster of all of them right here, and then one random one over here, for example. So I mean, but it's all still fun to explore and kind of check out because there's all sorts of different stuff out there to go check out. And then I would say the main bulk of it is the island you start off on called the Great Sky Island, kind of like near Hyrule Castle. That one's big. That one is big. It's where it's basically like the Great Plateau from the first game.
Okay.
Like it is large scale. But after that, it's just kind of all over the map. Can't comment much on the depths and how much it spans, but I'm not shitting you. I do feel like that one may span the entire map. I got into the depths, and first and foremost, it definitely has a very creepy vibe to it. And it's a very creepy vibe, but in a you enjoy the aesthetic of it. You know what I mean? Like you enjoy the aesthetic of it and kind of going through it and stuff. There's definitely some creatures down there I do not want to run into. I have not seen them down there, but I'm assuming they are down there. So one creature that I randomly found, I just kind of found a cave, when going to one of the towers, go down there. There's a shrine in the cave. Okay, cool. Let's go get the shrine. I don't really want to explore the cave right now. Get the shrine so I can teleport back. So I'm walking up to the cave, and just a giant pool of malice appears on the ground. And I'm assuming I didn't get a chance to take a fucking picture of them to add them to the, to your book, whatever. But I'm assuming they're wall masters is what they are. But there's just like, hands pop up out of the malice with little eyeballs and stuff. I happen to be out of arrows, so they might be easy to kill. But let me stress, if you see those things, you're probably fucking dead because they're as fast as Sonic the fucking Hedgehog, and you cannot outrun them, and they just grab you and just drain you, and you die within seconds.
Oof.
So, fuck that. All right, I'm going to come back to that. Don't want to mess with that right now. The game definitely has that level of difficulty. I have definitely died a handful of times for sure across the entire map. So it has enough difficulty for you to enjoy, but not completely hate the game. As if like let's say it's like a Souls game where it's just ungodly difficult for certain players. Myself would be one of those players. But I mean, you know, every like I said, literally everything across the board is just better. Just the amount of quality of life improvements they did. Story is very engaging, especially with what the context clues I've continued to get through my out of place memories and figuring out what happened, and honestly figuring out what happened with the first memory I found to what happened to Zelda. I lost it because my brain immediately. I'll say this, my brain immediately went to a Team 4-star special of Dragon Ball Z Abridged episode of Bardock. What triggers Bardock to go Super Saiyan in the Team 4-star version? That's what happens. And I immediately just went and took that clip and I sent to Josh. I'm like, Zelda when she wakes up. If you know, you know. I'll just say that. But the story.
Hey, listen.
Not that. No, fuck off. Fuck off on that front. But no, like the story is very engaging so far. You know, the combat is very fun, and one thing that I'm very thankful for as well, the shrines in this game, which are Zonai shrines, whatever, very very fun. Definitely over the Sheikah shrines. The Sheikah shrines, man, was a drag. Like you do the first X amount, whatever, and you're just like, okay, yeah, these are kind of fun. I like little puzzles and stuff. And then when you're trying to get more and more, let's say to get all the hearts you need to pull the Master Sword or whatever, and you just want to blow your brains out. Like they just got very boring and very repetitive, And so far for me, I mean that effect could definitely still come into play, but just because of the Ultra Hand and the 1,000,000 ways that you can possibly solve a puzzle, because trust me, I've definitely walked into an area, right? And I've seen the correct way to do something where it's like, okay, you need to do this and attach this and just do that and you're done. But I'm the guy that wants to, what other ways can I complete this? Where I just get like, okay, let's just get all this wood and make the longest fucking bridge possible if I can. How long can I make this bridge so I can get across this area? Or get up this giant, can I climb it up with this instead of just simply strapping the rockets to a thing and getting up? I try to find the dumb ways to do things because that's more fun to me. Like it is like 1,000,000 ways to complete something.
Yeah, no, I haven't played this game yet, but one of the YouTubers I follow, Small Ant.
Oh yeah,
he posted his like first 4 hour, like he edited down a video and posted his first like 4 hours playing the game into a YouTube video. Watched that this morning, and of course he speed ran Breath of the Wild, so he was like testing to see what glitches were still in it, what was patched out, and that. And then he's also very much of, they want me to do that, I'm not doing that.
Yep.
Because like there were some shrines or something where since it was kind of cut down and I don't know, I have no context for the game. I'm assuming they want you to like ascend up or like build a platform or something like that. He had found bomb flowers already.
Yeah.
And so he'd fuse them to the shield and then like go to surf on it and go like jumping high up.
That's amazing. I love that.
And then like the rails that are on there where you can like build the contraptions and like hook to them and that. He fused a mine cart to his shield and then would just surf on them.
Damn.
I didn't think about doing that. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, he did. It's like he fused a different like cart to his shield and basically just made a skateboard.
That sounds awesome.
When I was watching. I was like, man. I was like, it looks pretty good.
Yeah. No, like there is 1,000,000 ways to do stuff, and it's so fun. I will say the one thing that I haven't done much is I haven't done like the weapon fusing. I will be honest on that. I haven't done like adding a rock to this or whatever. I mean, I'll still do it every once in a while, but I definitely do a lot of like shield stuff and a lot of objects.
I was gonna say like if you watch his video on it, he fuses like anything that he can come up with.
I don't doubt it.
He killed an animal, got raw meat, so he fused the meat to an arrow.
Yep.
Just made a meat arrow.
Yep, you can do that. I mean, you can literally fuse anything.
It's like he was fusing, like he just fused random weapons and shit together just to see what it was, or just to see what the name was, because it just kind of combines the names of the two objects together.
That's disgusting.
Yep, it just makes up whatever the name is. Yeah, no, you can fuse just about anything, man. Like, I definitely should probably play with the weapon fusing more. I haven't really done that very much.
If you fuse enough tools and whatnot, we'll just name it Elijah Wood.
probably.
I don't know. I will say one thing with the fusing that I found interesting from a few videos that I watched on it. I don't know how like getting weapons and stuff in the game really is, because I know Breath of the Wild, it was like, it's like you go to these locations and here's like the really good weapons in the game. But the way this one looks is like killing different enemies will drop resources, which which all have different like tiers of like fuse weapon power. So like boss enemies or like higher tier enemies will drop stuff that when you fuse it to another weapon will give it a more damage. So I'd be curious to like what combinations and stuff actually end up being like making like super powerful weapons.
That is a good point, yeah, because like when it comes to like getting weapons, unless you're fusing everything that you can possibly find, getting weapons to start is a little on the slow side. So yeah, I mean that is where the game does kind of push you to want to fuse and just create the best kind of weapons that you can with a stick and a rock, you know, or whatever the case is going to be, or you know, sticking, you know, a monster part or a Zonai part. I mean, Zonai's, you know, they drop like a little blade piece, which those are the blade pieces that you put into the capsule machine. But
yeah, because like those materials and stuff that drop, it's like all of them, from what I could tell, had different like fuse weapon ratings or fuse armor ratings or something like that.
Yeah, so like you'll pick up literally any item, like just a piece of meat, and it's like, you know, one fuse rating, whatever, or so I'll add one to whatever, you know, one defense, one attack to whatever you add it to. You know, you pick up like certain Zonai part, it's like it'll add +6. I mean, it says it on literally every item.
Yeah.
So that is kind of the interesting part about, you know, maybe just creating your own like superpower weapons. And then whenever you get the auto build ability, which I haven't gotten yet, I'm sure I could probably easily get it. Besides going to the Ritos, like I've been very off on my own path where I have not done the story content per se. So I could probably get it very easy, I would think. I don't know how late in the game it is. I feel like it'd probably be pretty early. At that point, you could probably just make your weapons immediately. Okay, yeah, you probably do. There's certain things that I have no clue of. Certain things I have no clue of. That's for sure. But you know, there's unlimited possibilities to this game, which that was really the big draw for Breath of the Wild for a lot of people. It's just the different ways to handle a situation. This game amplifies it by like 47,000. I mean, it's unreal, just the amount of different ways that you can handle every single possible scenario. You know, I can't stress enough, this game is incredible. Best game on the Switch for sure, especially because of the scale of it and the time it's coming out. The fact that we are in 2023 with this software that is very clearly aging, and Nintendo knows it's aging, even if they won't come out and flat out say, yeah, we're aware our hardware is shit right now. Flat out say those words. The fact they were able to accomplish what they were is unbelievable to me. And I will say this, like, I understand Nintendo is never going to come out right now and say, yeah, we're aware our hardware lacks in major power in the Switch. Like,
yeah, they're never saying that.
They're never saying it. But here's what I would love and hope to see. After we're done with the Switch generation, like, you know, like when like they're discontinuing like making units, you know, I would love to hear them talk about how they made this game, you know, where they acknowledge, yeah, the Switch had a lower hardware. We're aware of that. I just want to know how they made this game. I really, I've never been so interested to know how a game was made.
They still never re-acknowledged how weird it was having the handle on the GameCube.
That handle was awesome. But yeah, they've never acknowledged that. Shout out to the GameCube. Love the GameCube. Saw a great video the other day involving, like, you know, Zelda and Twilight Princess and just everything with the GameCube era.
Okay.
And how Twilight Princess was the game that Nintendo did not want to make. And that was a very entertaining video. I think it was by Manly Reviews. That was an incredible video. Very well put together. Comedic timing across the board was fantastic. But that was an awesome video, because like I know one thing that he pointed out that I didn't even know about this is, like, you know, do you guys know of? I know we were too young where we didn't get to see it, but do you guys know of that Zelda tech demo they showed at E3 where it's like Ocarina of Time, Link, and Ganondorf fighting whatever, and then after that was when Wind Waker came out? Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
I don't think I do.
Okay, well, it was like it was revealed at E3 as like just the next Legend of Zelda. At the time, it looked like super realistic, for the time that it was. Everyone's like cheering their ass, oh yeah, cheering at E3 and stuff. And then Wind Waker happens, where it's cartoony graphics and stuff. So apparently, after that tech demo came out, the creator of Legend of Zelda, I'm drawing a blank on his name, he flat out came out like at E3 and talked about how much he hated that tech demo because it's just not what he wanted. Wind Waker was literally made because he's just like, this is what I want. I want this. I want cartoony graphics. That's the style that I want, not a realistic Zelda. So I thought that was actually pretty fascinating. I thought that was very, very fascinating. But no, with Tears of the Kingdom, though, best game on the Switch, I would say by far. And in my opinion, just because, I see how history goes and stuff. This game's winning game of the year. I mean, it's winning game of the year. There's nothing else that's come out that will compete with it, and there's nothing that will come out that will compete with it this year. Like Starfield, doesn't matter if they perfect that landing in every way possible. It's not winning. It's not. Final Fantasy, not winning. I'm calling it. I will gladly put money on this too. And it's not just because how much I love it. It's one, how much I see what the game has accomplished and the general reception of it. But then also, I'm just looking at history. I'm just looking at history for it.
But I mean, the other thing to look at is you have to look at expectations with it. So if Starfield does land,
it will be the best shot.
If it does land it and it's the 10 out of 10 game that everybody's hoping for, then you're taking basically two games that would be similar in giant open exploration, play how you want to games and that. Just one of them has 10 years of hype.
True.
And one of them is
5 years of hype.
Well, not even necessarily 5 years of hype, but 5 years of a game that is exactly what people expected it to be.
Yeah, it's
a really
that's fair.
It's
totally
a
fair.
good game, but it's what people expected it to be. Whereas if the expectations are landed with Starfield, it's a massive difference.
That's fair.
And then Power World comes in and sneaks through for Game of the Year.
Do we know even a window for that?
Nope.
God, I want to play that game.
So you talked about wanting to know how they made.
Yes,
Tears of the
I
Kingdom.
want to know.
Well, here's the thing you got to think about with that. You have a team that is solely built around making games for the Switch.
Yeah.
And they've had damn near a decade to perfect it at this point.
That's true.
And every time there's a fuck up, they go back to the drawing board.
And they've probably been working on this game for 6 years.
Yeah, no, honestly, yes.
So it's like they've had half a decade to just perfect it with what they had, because nothing has changed with the hardware.
No.
It's so they've known exactly what they've been working on and had time to test it in every way imaginable.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. About 6 years, maybe even 7. That's probably right. Because I mean, this is one beef everyone has about this game is that we've seen these comments for almost a year now, where it's like, this is going to be a big DLC of the game. I can tell you, it's definitely not a big DLC of the game. And this game did start as a DLC. It was going to start as a DLC 3 for Breath of the Wild, but the scope became so big for it. That's when they decided to, they got the green light to just make a new game completely. And that's when they just kind of just did everything. And I will say something else that I was kind of curious about is Hyrule, since it is the same map. There is a ton of differences.
Oh yeah,
there's a ton of differences in the base map.
I could even watching videos on it, I could tell, and I've not played more than a couple hours of Breath of the Wild.
Oh yeah, that's something I've noticed. Honestly, at this point, besides not counting the main let's say villages and stuff like that and everything, I feel like it's harder to find things that are the same in Hyrule than it is things that are different. In my opinion, I feel like the map is overall pretty different. Just because of various things that's transpired over time, some areas kind of rebuilding and everything like that. I definitely see where it's very different. And I will say I'm excited to continue to explore the depths because I have not gotten into it very much, but I'm looking forward to getting further into it, because that one, I do think that one stretches across the entire map. You can basically go under the depths in this area, and you can probably pop up. Let's say you go into the depths over in the the Gerudo Desert, which is in the bottom left. I feel like you could probably pop out at Elden Mountain up at the top right of the map. It might stretch that far.
Damn.
Like it very well might. I don't know. It could be blocked off per region, no clue. I haven't gotten as far as I want to, but it very well could stretch the whole thing, which would be very cool. And honestly, at this point, with how I'm looking at the scale of the game in general, I'm willing to bet that it does. So that's actually pretty exciting and probably kind of scary. There's probably a lot of freaky things down there. Like Redeads are back. So I'm looking forward to encountering one of those for the first time. Because I don't think they've actually been in the game since... they might have been in the game in Twilight Princess as like a special enemy, but like as a normal, like regular, you can find them every once in a while. Probably Majora's Mask was the last time they were a normal enemy. Ocarina Time Majora's Mask, I think that was it. I don't think they were in Wind Waker. They might have been in Twilight though. So I don't know. But yeah, no, game is absolutely phenomenal. For me personally, I never thought the day would come, but I would definitely say at this point, I think Twilight Princess has finally been dethroned for me. Just because, like, this is what I wanted. You know what I mean? Like, this is what, when I went into Breath, I was just, there were certain things that I wanted out of it, and it hit, for the most part. But again, there was the kind of the key areas that it did not hit. Those key areas have now been hit, plus everything else that I already wanted. So, like, this is everything that I wanted in like an open world Zelda game. This is it. Like, there are still a few things, like minor things at this point. It's like, oh, I would love to see this in like maybe a DLC or just the next game, whatever. But like, main key points, the main check boxes that you would want in an open world Zelda game, this game delivers on. And Twilight Princess has probably been dethroned to me for favorite Zelda game, which also means Tears of the Kingdom would be in my top 5 favorite games of all time now. Because Twilight Princess was number 4 for me. Love Twilight Princess. So yeah, cannot recommend enough. If you want to borrow it, let me know, man. My third copy will be here Monday. So.
I told you earlier I'd take you up on that.
Okay.
You just won't keep asking me.
Yeah, he's just gonna keep asking.
Well, if you want to swing by Monday, let me know. Or just wait till we got a break next week. So yeah, basically, if you want the game, you're gonna have to probably swing by and grab it, because since we're gonna be on a break next week.
You can swing by and deliver it.
I mean, I guess you're right. I haven't been to your house like 2 years.
He's offering to let me play his extra copy of the game, and I'm like, are you gonna deliver it to me?
He can't do that with me because I still don't know where he lives.
You don't?
I feel like that's your fault at this point.
Yeah.
So that's funny. You haven't been to his house at all.
No.
Okay. I've only been to his house a few times.
I respect John's territory of I don't want people over. Fuck that.
Because that's how you are, right?
Yep.
I do feel that. Besides pod days, I am definitely in that mindset of I don't want you at my fucking house. I want to chill. I feel you on that. I think we're all on the same page on that one. I can't think of anything else that I really want to praise on Tears of the Kingdom right now. I think I may hit like the main points that I kind of had in my brain, especially at the point that I am like in general gameplay and everything and story and stuff. So yeah, like I said, just cannot recommend enough. It's an unbelievable game, top to bottom. So what about you boys? What you boys been up to?
Okay, now we can talk about the real game that came out this week.
That's right.
It's called Tape to Tape.
I saw you playing. I was wanting to know how you felt about that. The roguelike hockey game.
This is the real game that we got to chat about.
Tape to Tape is a roguelike hockey game.
Because I was looking at that and I about bought it myself.
Okay, here's the great thing about the game.
Your team is shit.
The game is a lot of fun. Here's the unfortunate thing about the game. I suck at hockey games. And it's still a hockey game.
Oh, so you actually do have to play the matches.
You play the matches.
Oh, shit.
Hockey games are tough, man. I don't blame you.
Yeah, the way the game, there's a loose story to it, but it's a roguelike game, so when you start up a run, the first thing you do is pick your star teammate, which is the person on your team who specializes in, they're either like a generalized player where their stats are all rounded, they're good at shooting, or they're good at shooting, being fast, or like knocking people down. And then each of the people that you have to pick from, they all have their own ability, or like their own ability that you can use. So at the start of the run, you pick between that person, and then you pick the ability for your character.
Gotcha.
And then you have like your opening match, which is just first. It's like you go into it as whoever scores first wins.
Oh, okay.
And then you have your typical like roguelite map. The first zone is very simplified where you have one option, then you have two options, then you have like your what would normally be like a mini boss or something.
Yeah.
But it's not like there's no point of failure until the end of the first like map.
Okay.
And that's the first point of failure where your run can end.
Oh.
Because the way that it does it is each of the challenges or the matches that you compete in, you can gain additional bonuses. But if you don't win the match or you don't complete the objective, you just get nothing.
Oh, how fun.
So it's like you either have a positive or no gain.
Or jack shit.
But yeah, it's just a lot of fun. It's like some of the abilities in the game, or the only ones that I've played with so far is there's one that you can have where it's basically a dash. You hit it and you get increased movement speed for a few seconds. There's one that I got on one of the people that I selected to have, where you just throw your fucking stick and knock people over.
I saw that in the
That's
trailer.
awesome.
That was a big thing in the trailer.
That's awesome. I love that.
I very quickly got the achievement for throwing it 5 times.
I don't blame you. I would have too.
But yeah, and then it's like there's some more unique abilities. Like there's one called Yo-Yo or something like that you can get where when you use it, you hit the puck off in a direction and you actually target the direction that you hit it in.
Okay.
And then you have a couple seconds to hit the button again, and then the puck comes back to you. But if it's not going to directly come, or it's not going to like teleport back to you or anything. So if you hit it off and then someone else comes over to where the puck is or gets in the way of the line back to you, they'll just take it.
They'll take it, yeah.
So it's like it's a very fun ability, but it's also one where it's like you can very easily just give the puck away.
Yeah, it's all from like the trailer for the game. There's some very weird abilities and bonuses, like because I know there's like a special one where you can just bribe the ref and the ref starts playing for you.
Yeah, I haven't seen that yet. And then, but since the game is a roguelite as well, as you complete like the challenges and stuff throughout the thing, you get your currency, which is pucks, and then you can use pucks to unlock additional like characters that you can choose to be on your team at the start, or you can increase your stats.
Okay.
Because your stats start out shit.
Yeah, I've got
Like they're like in the 20s or 30s. But yeah, I haven't beat the first map yet. I've only played it a couple hours, honestly, or maybe not even 2 hours yet, honestly. Because I just bought it, played it for a little bit, and then like just didn't pick it up today yet. But the first one that was like a real challenge is the first like exit to the first map, and it's just because it's fucking annoying. You're basically playing against a team of refs. So like the refs are against you. The refs will interfere on the opponent's behalf. And like the first time I faced off against them, I scored in like 6 seconds, which is rare for me to actually score. And they didn't count the point. They said no, fuck you.
no goal.
But yeah, but yeah, so it's like that just shows that like the big like boss fights throughout it are all gonna be like have their own unique twist to them, because so far they've been fairly interesting. But yeah, the actual matches that you play can range from like first person to score, or like different time, like amounts of periods and stuff that you would play. I've had some that are 2, some are 3. I've had because I couldn't score, I had a match that was like 3 periods going to triple overtime. Which was fucking annoying because at the end of every period, it tells you the stats of how the game's gone so far. And it's like, opponent, 6 shots. Me, 72.
That would be me too. I'm with you though.
But yeah, I haven't gotten good at shooting it yet.
All right.
But yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's just it's a simplistic hockey game that happens to be a roguelite. So fun abilities. There's different like artifacts and stuff you can get, which are just like bonuses that you get from doing challenges and stuff.
And it's technically in early access, right?
I believe it's in early access.
Okay.
Yeah, because a lot of these roguelites start in early access, and then a year from now they'll fully release.
Yeah, version 1.0 will come out.
But yeah, that's been one of the things I've dived into this week. Then I played some of the Diablo 4 beta yesterday.
How was that?
I mean, it's Diablo 4 beta with. It's like they've made some changes, but I haven't played any, or I've played something different every time, so I don't know what the changes are really.
Gotcha.
Okay, fair enough.
I mean, the most notable thing that I've noticed is since because I know the previous tests, they've had increased legendary drop rate so that they could test how legendary interactions worked.
Yeah.
Now for this test, they just have it as like base game drop rates in that. So I'm about like max level for the beta, which is 20.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen one yet.
Damn.
Where last time I played in a beta, by this time I had several. So I mean, other than that, it's a Diablo 4 beta. It feels basically the same thing that I played last time.
It's Diablo.
It's like I'm just playing I'm playing a different class this time, playing a sorceress. And previously I played Necromancer, so
Love Necromancer. That's
so
my favorite.
It's different but the same.
Gotcha.
So I don't know. It'll be one. Game will come out. Game will be fun to play when it comes
on
out.
Game Pass.
Is it?
Yeah, it's coming to Game Pass when it comes out.
Okay.
Sure.
So there you go. Makes it easy to get.
I was gonna play it regardless.
I mean, fair. What about you? What have you been up to this week? I know you had a couple things.
So, first off, I played Omega Striker on the console.
How is that?
I forgot that it was available on consoles, and I was on my Xbox earlier and saw it, and I was like, that looks terrible.
Playing on controller is very awkward.
I was going to say, it seems like it would be awkward.
Because from PC, it's very easy with the mouse and whatnot, and then WASD. Versus this, you have to play it as a weird stick shooter.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering if that's how it was going to be. Because
yeah, like...
With that's at least what I wanted to do. I wanted to play it on console.
On the Xbox, and I can only assume if it ever shows up on PlayStation, the left stick controls your movement, but the right stick controls where you're actually going to aim and hit the disc and everything. So if you're not paying attention with your right stick, you'll just accidentally throw it back at wherever you left the right stick.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Because like you said, on PC, it's very easy to just keep your mouse like in front of your character
and facing the other goal.
Yeah, so it's like as long as it's on the opposite side of your character from your goal, you're good.
Yeah.
Now, is there some sort of like cursor or something to at least indicate where you're looking? Or is it just based on where your character?
It's a twin stick shooter arrow at the bottom of your character's feet.
So I'll be real. I completely acknowledge how that sounds like not great for you guys, but honestly, that sounds ideal for me. Like,
I mean, by all means. And the funny thing is I mean, it's doable because, I mean, I played a couple games on controller and whatnot, and it did feel awkward because, and you can remap the buttons, and if you have an Elite controller, by all means, I would suggest using that to remap your buttons.
Yep.
Because default is all your skills and whatnot, and just hitting the disc with your character are all on the bumpers and triggers.
Mm-hmm.
And then left stick moves, right stick aims, all your buttons, they do something, but they're not important. And yeah, so the main stuff is bumpers, triggers, and sticks.
Okay.
How does aiming abilities where you have to actually have a location? Stick. So is it like you hit it and then you have to pick where it goes to?
Yep.
Oh god, that's terrible.
Well, actually, no. It's more of a thing of...
Is it smart casting?
It's smart cast.
Okay. I don't like smart casting. I don't like smart casting in that sense for these type of games. Or like in games like this where it's like... Mainly because like certain characters you could like on mouse and keyboard, when you're like selecting the location of it, it's not trying to smart cast it. It's a lot easier to like set up traps.
Yes.
Whereas if it's smart casting it, it's kind of you don't have as much control over
You
it.
either hold down the button or you just let go.
Yeah.
Because I mean, a couple games I played, because after the first game I was awkward, I just played Jakar, which is my overall best at the moment. And so it's sort of funny when you load into a lobby on console, it shows you what everyone's playing on, but on PC it doesn't show you shit.
Yeah, you have
So
no
you
idea.
just assume. So for consoles and I assume Switch, I don't know if Switch has crossplay on this as well, but you can play
does.
on the Switch.
All of it's crossplay. Mobile,
God,
Switch, console,
PC. Switch must feel fucking awkward. So it shows you what everyone's playing on. And I got in a game, most of my games was just me as a solo Xbox player and everyone else on PC. And me just realizing people are sort of trash at the game because I'm on controller, awkward as fuck. The other team's dominating and my two teammates are fucking vegetables.
Zach, we've seen this. We know how this works.
Yes. So I'm trying to compensate on a controller as your car to get anything I can out of it. I mean, overall, it still felt fine and whatnot. Have my account on Xbox, which I did enjoy the linking up because it has a whole thing. It's like, all right, you're connecting to this account. All right, now choose one account to keep. The other one will be gone forever. I went, oh, I better not fuck this up. Luckily, it has several confirms to be like, you sure you want this one? All right, the other one's gone forever. Good luck now. And then
Sounds terrible.
Yeah, no.
That part, yes.
And then it's sort of interesting if you are on multiple things because, as Alex mentioned the other week, it only lets you log into your account on one.
Yep.
But it's a very quick switch if you want because it'll pull up the main screen with all the nice art with everyone. And it'll just be like, sign into account on Xbox. You switch it. The other one will go back to the main screen. Just have a button that says sign in on Steam.
Yep.
So it's actually a very easy, quick switch. And after they're linked, any experience and whatnot just carries over.
Okay.
Yeah. It's just very awkward with a controller after playing PC for so long.
John, now you need to try it on console.
No.
Yes.
Why would I try it on console?
I wouldn't for the characters he plays.
Just
The
for
characters,
experience.
there's a reason why I was saying I don't like SmartCast because it'd be fucking terrible for the characters I play.
Just for the experience.
Other than that, I did want to mention a game I mentioned several months back, Evercore Heroes. It's finally getting a full update in terms of being to play it. It's actually going to have a closed beta on June 20th. And just to reiterate for this game is a PvE competitive focused game of 4 teams of 4 players completing objectives to level up their teams, which leads to a defend an objective mode where whoever loses gets knocked out, the other 3 continue the next cycle. All this fun stuff. And it is a MOBA style game from the looks of it, but my big thing is that it's going to be a competitive PvE because they also released 4 days ago with this a full gameplay trailer along with it, sort of really showing off what's going to be going on, how the games are going to flow and things like that and all that fun stuff. So I'm really looking forward to it. MOBA game with PvE aspects. As I said, they're going to be doing a closed beta on June 20th. As of right now, as far as I could tell, there's no actual signups for it. What you can do at this time is if you want to guarantee access, you can buy one of their founder packs, which are $20, $50, and then $80. And each one gives exclusive stuff, the 81 giving the most, of course. And then along with it, if you do get a founders pack, you also get, regardless of which one, you get a exclusive founders battle pass, which says it will never expire. So I assume you just get a bunch of extra crap every battle pass for being a founder.
Are you hitting that up?
Yeah, I'm going to buy the 80. Because along with the 80, it also gives, each one gives an extra code for people. But if you buy the 80, you get 3 extra codes, so you can field a whole team if you have friends.
I'll probably end up getting a founders pack too. This is a game like you said you mentioned before, and
Yes.
while I haven't followed it heavily, I looked into it initially, and it's been on my radar.
I mean, you can find quite a bit of information on it now, especially because for a while they had the specs and everything for all their characters and abilities and things like that. I mean, I like MOBA games, but the standard MOBA formula has sort of burned out for me.
Yeah. Well, we've played a couple weird variations on it of like PvEVP games.
Yes.
Because I know you've looked into them before, and you're like, hey, let's try this, and I'm like, sure, and then it's usually weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know we've played several like that before. But yeah, it's like I'm like you. I like the MOBA gameplay style, but I'm very over the standard mobile or like MOBA
formula.
gameplay and formula in that.
I mean, I don't mind it from time to time, but
every once in a while it's not bad.
Yeah. But so yeah, I'm very much looking forward to this closed beta in June. And as far as I'm aware, it's not going to be under NDA, so we should be able to talk about it. Will you want a code, Alex?
Yes, I would actually. Do you have multiple?
Yeah, if I buy the 80 pack, I get 3 extra codes.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
I literally.
Yeah, he was saying that you were playing on the monitor over there.
Yeah, sorry, I was messing with some stuff over there.
I figured.
I apologize.
So yeah, no. So I have enough code to field a whole team.
I'm down.
And plus get a bunch of extra stuff. Because from everything they said, if you go ahead and buy a Founders Pack now, from at least what it seems, there's not going to be any kind of server reset. So anything you earn in this, you'll more than likely get to keep as far as it seems.
Progression in that.
Yeah, as far as it seems at this time.
Yeah, I'll take a code. I appreciate that.
Other than that, the only other thing I messed with recently is a game called The Pale Beyond.
Yeah, I saw you playing that.
Yeah, you mentioned that to me.
Because I think you bought that like around the same time I bought Tape to Tape.
Yes. Because that's what I've been messing with the last couple of days is The Pale Beyond, which is a hard narrative survival management game. So more or less the pretense is it hasn't really stated the time period, but it's sort of mostly mercantile period before any sort of like real industrial stuff starts hitting. More or less the game starts you with a job interview with the captain of a ship, and you answer a couple questions and whatnot as in this interview style to set up your character of what was your background on ships, what kind of were you born as a seafaring person on land or a bit of both and all this stuff. Sort of set up your character's backstory for this interview to become the first mate of the ship. And more or less you're getting hired on in this job to go toward... They haven't really said other than it's the ice and that more or less there's a sister ship to the one you're going to be sailing on that went to the ice and was lost. They were going to search for something and it was lost out in the ice and no one ever heard from anyone except for this one person who claims to have made it back and who's already dead, but their testimony survived and somebody's decided to take that testimony to fund this expedition to go find that lost ship and the research it had on it. And more or less, it sets up that month passes, and then you go to the ship and start interacting with everyone on the ship. It's sailing, you're doing weeks, and you're interacting with all the crew and everything, and the characters and whatnot, and also having to watch and control your resources of fuel and food. Because you have a morale, food, and fuel to keep off starvation, keep off frostbite, and you have 100 at max, and depending on what you set it, you can set it either at 1, 2, or 3 per person. And more or less you do spans of weeks, you assign people tasks to do things, collecting coal, getting food, and doing stuff yourself, and more or less you got to keep that up. Not enough food, people will start getting malnourished and whatnot. Not enough fuel, people will start getting frost and freezing and being affected by that. Things, all this, and just overall managing until you get to the point where you're through the ice, you're hitting the ice and whatnot, and the ship gets stuck in the ice. And now your crew's fucked. You're stuck in the ice, you deal with a whole boiler incident, and the captain of your ship up and deserts everyone. So now your character...
What a prick.
Yeah. And now your character gets made the captain because you're first mate, and now you're having to survive amongst the ice for 30 weeks, keeping fuel, food, and keeping your crew from mutiny. And so one thing about this game, which I've very liked, which was a nice sort of nod, is just during those first 5 weeks, which is considered the prologue, you're just meeting and you're interacting with everyone and whatnot. And it's very easy. So we're just showing, hey, here's what you have to do. This is the easy part. And everything. And just when the whole shit happens, ship stuck, boiler starts trying to overload and everything, and the captain's gone, and the game's... So all your interactions of the first 5 weeks help determine on how the rest of this goes, because immediately just goes into a thing of the captain's gone, you've stayed off the boiler, you have to now try and win the vote to be made captain, the crew recognizes you as captain, sorta. And all your interactions you've had with people have been increasing loyalty and whatnot towards you, but it's given no indications. So you have no idea what you've good. So you can very much not be voted in as captain right from the beginning. I barely passed. I got beat it by 1. So we can immediately start with a mutiny as far as I understand.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yes. And more or less, it's you trying to keep people's up loyalty to you in case something happens, keeping people alive, getting the resources you can, combating frostbite, malnutrition, and very much controlling all this management and everything for all your resources, and then following this narrative of this story of this crew who's been stranded out on the ice trying to survive and everything, in which I fucked up already once because this game is not very handholdy. It's just like there's a point where people give requests and you more or less make choices on different situations of what to do. And one of the prominent things that happens towards the end of the first act is your navigator more or less comes to you, like, hey, we need to get off the ship. We need to make camp on the ice. The ice has encased the ship. We're not getting it out. It's slowly crushing the ship. And it's like, we maybe got a couple weeks left. We should grab everything we can set up camp on the ice, and be done with it. Well, that's the only mention the game mentions of it. So if you don't pay attention to your weeks, you get what happened to me, and everyone dies because you didn't get off the ship.
Wow.
Because, yeah, no, literally, I just start the week, and it's just like... and shows the ship and comes in, and everyone starts popping up. Dead, 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 dead. I was like, fuck. So I had to reset. But overall, I've been enjoying it. The story has been very interesting and compelling of just all these characters, how they're interacting, because you have your different groups of the sailors, the engineers, the scientists, the scouts, and everyone. And each one has their head who... They're the one whose loyalty you're trying to get, and everyone else who's part of their group, they'll just follow their vote and all this stuff. And just the overall mechanics of trying to get resources and have been very entertaining and good. And just, yeah, I have, for my second attempt, have managed to keep everyone alive, and there's definitely been moments where I could have gotten people killed, so.
What was this game called?
The Pale Beyond. It's on sale currently right now.
Yeah,
Okay,
I saw you buy it,
bucks.
and I glanced at it, and I saw like resource management, survival. Looked at the art style, I went, "That's a Zach game."
Yes, it is. I mean, because it's hard narrative, because the main thing is just talking dialogue and things like that. Then the interspersedness of each week setting up tasks to get your resources to keep off from fucking up.
Yeah, seems interesting. I looked at it briefly. I thought about downloading it, but I've kind of been in a what do I play mood.
Seemed like that.
And I looked at it and I was like, I'm not going to do it because I'm not going to pull the trigger because I'd play that game for 30 minutes and then be like, why did I buy this?
Yeah.
I just add it to my wish list.
I mean, it's very much a me game.
Yeah. No, I mean, it actually sounds pretty entertaining. That's something I may check out whenever I'm not on Tears of the Kingdom.
And which I'm curious how much it does branch, because it's been fairly linear for me. But once you start a game, it saves at every week's start, and it keeps that save. So even if you fuck up like I did and everyone dies, it keeps the previous week 7 save where you can go back and try and prevent it.
Oh, when you said it kept the week save, I was thinking it progressed the week. So your save is now everyone dying.
It did have that save. I could have just kept watching everyone die.
I was thinking that there wasn't a previous save, that it just overrode it. That would have been funny.
So like whenever you launch it again, after it just says continue, there is no new game, and it's just a single branching of each week where the save was. And then it also says at the bottom branch 1 of 40. So I'm assuming there's a bunch of different ways this can go. If I really want to dive deep and things like that.
Like what, 40 different story paths?
Yeah, because
That's what I'm assuming.
I assume because depending on if like you get one group of characters killed, your path is now different than if they're still alive.
And then even in the
yeah.
prologue thing, there's several characters you can just fuck off. Like literally, there's a stowaway at the beginning where the captain looks at you and goes like, "What do you think we should do with the kid?" He's like, "You can either keep him and have him on the ship, or you can throw his ass overboard, and now that kid's, as far as you're concerned, dead."
Watch him survive and become like the main antagonist.
I mean, he could. I don't know.
Yeah.
I doubt it. But his father's also one of the sailors on the ship, so he may come for your head too if you decide to do that.
Kind of throw him overboard now. See what kind. Yeah, that would be one of those curiosity things. Yeah, see where it goes. Nah, that actually sounds pretty sick. I had that one on my wish list. Like I said, I may check that one out whenever I'm not playing Tears of the Kingdom. Whenever that's gonna fucking be.
I mean, it's on sale right now. You can just buy it and keep it in your Steam library.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, but when you get that mentality, you start getting hundreds of games in your Steam library, and all you play is 3.
Yes.
Yeah, that reminds me of Jimmy. Jimmy, that happens with him. You know, where he brought it up one time, and he's just like, I looked at my Steam library, and I just have like 200, 300 games, and I'm like, I will never play.
I was gonna say, like, Alex, I assume your Steam library is like 11 games.
I think it's more than that.
Or something like that.
It's close.
You don't have to scroll in your library. Meanwhile, I sort my library and I hide the amount of stuff I've gone through and hidden in my library or just like removed from my account.
Shit, I don't even hide it stuff.
I had to, but that's because I go through the trash free games and download like idle games and clicker games, and you got to remember who you're talking to.
I mean, I know, but
I play some. I was playing a game today called something. I don't know what it was called. It was like the Tower 2 or something. It's categorized as an idle tower defense like management type game.
All right.
It's fucking dumb. I played it for like an hour and a half.
I mean, that's all I really got because that's all I really mess with. My biggest thing was I was very happy about the Evercore news.
Yeah. I downloaded some more games, but I haven't played them yet. I finally downloaded Coffee Talk so I can sit down and play it.
See, I've had that since that game came out because when that game came out, it was like free with gold.
Yeah, my girlfriend really enjoyed it.
Yeah. I've heard it's really good. It seems very good.
It's one that I've heard is good, but I never really thought anything of it, and then I saw it was on Game Pass, so it's been on my list, especially since the second part of it came out.
Yeah, I didn't realize how well it was received until I saw the episode 2 come out. I was like, oh shit. I thought this was more like a cult thing. I didn't realize it had that strong of a following.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. So I went through my libraries like on my Xbox earlier and just kind of uninstalled stuff I knew I wasn't playing that was like optimistic downloads, and then just kind of went through Game Pass and started downloading stuff.
Mm-hmm. The only other thing that I can think to throw out there for me personally is that, obviously before Tears of the Kingdom, I did finish Persona 5 Royal finally. Had a great time.
Is that why you started just texting me questions about it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. What about Strikers?
Well, Strikers, and then who I thought was the hardest boss and all that stuff.
Well, the hardest boss was strictly because I just saw a conversation about it on Twitter, and that people were throwing out Kumara, and I'm just like, oh, I wonder what Zach's thoughts are on that. That's what prompted that one. But Strikers is just because I'm looking to pick it up so I can play it at some point.
Gotcha.
So I was just curious about it.
I downloaded a Royal on my Xbox.
There you go.
Didn't you also download it on your PlayStation at once?
No, I have it on my PS4, but I don't really use my PS4 that much. It's in a different room, so
Fair.
it's hooked up to a TV I don't use a whole lot.
Okay.
Yeah, fair.
And it's free on Game Pass, so. But yeah, it's one where it's like I downloaded it on my Xbox, so I was like, I don't want to sit at my computer and play that. If I'm gonna sit down and play that every now and then for a little bit, I might as well just like have it on my Xbox and chill back while I play it.
Right. I will say one thing that did like a quick flip for me when it comes to the end part of the game is like I felt like the final palace was almost in a sense like lackluster in like overall like build compared to what we just had fucking happen. But then as it like further progressed and just what exactly is happening, plus the final boss fight and everything, my opinion changed completely. I loved the entire final palace stuff. I thought it was awesome. That's my favorite palace in the game. And I gotta say that is one of the best tracks in the game. I mean, the whole soundtrack is great, but I love. It's called. I think it's called Gentle Madman.
Sounds right.
That is a great track. I love the music for that palace. That's so good. But no, that final palace was super sick. I do think that the general ending of Persona 5 definitely feels a lot more like high stakes, like super epic, finale.
Yes.
But the
out of curiosity, when you got to that, how many confidants did you actually have completed?
not as many as I would like.
because that scene is always better the second time around when you're able to get a lot of confidence, because it's actually very entertaining just to see how each of the confidants reacting during that reveal scene.
That's my only thing that upsets me about my first run. It's just the amount of that I got done. Because, I felt like they're at the end of the game, like I was blitzing them like crazy, trying to get them done.
I mean, unless you have a route planned out, it's very hard to do them on a first run.
Yeah, because the thing that I'm excited for this new game plus I already started is I'm gonna get to max everything out for that, because my shoulder, I spend so much time just working. The first run, building up my social skills. Thankfully, I've already kind of seen the ones that I want to see just on YouTube or whatever. The few, there's still some I have no idea how it plays out. The gun shop dude, I haven't watched his.
Oh, his is fun.
It's from the few that I did, I feel like it's gonna be pretty solid. So I'm looking forward to it, but I haven't taken the time to go watch it. So in this new playthrough, there's still definitely gonna be content that I have not seen. But there's at least a couple of the key characters that I really like that I didn't end up having time to finish their stuff. That I at least know how it finishes.
The best ones are completing your teammates' confidants, because then it just gives you an upgrade. Yeah, personas. That's the best part in every Persona game.
True.
Because then their personas are just overly strong if you do build it right.
Yeah, especially when they get the other upgrade too, with the royal content. But
yep.
No, I love the game. That game is incredible to me. That plot twist was so great, completely caught me off guard. Beginning, the soundtrack's awesome. I've been very addicted to it recently on my drives to work. Loved Persona 5 Royal. I can't wait to play Strikers though. Look forward to playing Strikers. I know it's different, obviously, more of an action RPG or whatever, but still looking forward to it. Just kind of like what you said to me in text, just a nice continuation from the story. So I'm looking forward to getting another chance with these characters and kind of how it goes from there. The one thing I am kind of curious about is what even prompts this story, because obviously where we are with original P5 ending is the metaverse is gone, right? So it's just what even prompts that story to even be possible to be happening? Do you remember?
I don't remember.
Okay, that's gonna be one of the things I'm looking forward to as soon as the game starts. Is what exactly
it's
happens.
it's weird shit, because it's even the spinoff for Persona Max Arena, which is the crossover between 4 and 3. It's a whole thing of just a shadow experiment went wrong, which because in 3 there was a whole corporation who was doing experiments on shadows, fucked up, released the 12 major arcana shadows, which led to a thing called the Midnight Hour, which your people could go into and fight them, which then you defeated it, got rid of the Midnight Hour, and then led to the weirdness that was 4 in the Midnight Channel, which was a very subconscious bullshit. More or less one of those things became a human and created a new Midnight Channel, because the Midnight Channel didn't fully go away even after beating the main thing in 4. And it just interacts with both those worlds and forces everyone to then join each other in a fighting tournament because of somebody's other shadow in the Midnight Channel. And it's literally just the thing of P4's hero being like, yeah, no, it's spring break, I'm going to come visit everyone. Who are these strange people lurking around the city? And entering the Midnight Channel. Well, we got to follow them.
How does it connect in, or how does Strikers connect in, Alex? Because it's basically just, we wanted to make more money off of this. So
we're gonna make up bullshit.
Insert reason why it still works.
Basically, that's basically the royal content.
That really is.
That's just basically the royal content. And so, all that starts after the ending of P5. So, but overall, that was an incredible experience for a game for me. I'm playing it right now on Switch, and just every once in a while, like in my free time and stuff, like when I'm laying down or got to be somewhere, whatever, for a little while, I'm playing that playthrough. But then I'm also kind of dabbling in my New Game Plus too, which look forward to actually maxing out all the because like there's one the Sun dude only did the first one, never did any more after that. The guy running for the politics dude.
Oh,
only did the first one, man.
that's depressing. And he has a time limit too.
I know. He disappeared. I was like, well, SOL on that one.
Yeah, he has a time limit because once you start the politician's palace, he disappears.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you have until the end of the 4th palace.
Gotcha. Yep. Only did the first one for him. Whoops.
He gives you a lot of good conversation skills too.
Yeah, I noticed that. Just didn't end up doing it. That's my fault. But
you can literally go up to monsters and tell them to give you money.
Yep. I don't have anything else. You guys got anything? Ready to hit the weekly wrap up?
I got nothing.
Nope.
All right, let's do the weekly wrap up. Let's get out of here. So first up, this one was kind of random, but it does make sense though. Private Division and Game Freak have announced a partnership for an upcoming action-adventure game codenamed Project Bloom. There was a concept art that released. This is not surprising because Game Freak desperately wants to do something else other than Pokemon.
Yes.
They've tried time and time again. So pairing up with another studio like Private Division is definitely, I think, the right play to kind of get this rolling and see what else Game Freak can do outside of just Pokemon. Because everything they've done, it's been kind of lackluster. I mean,
we've seen this concept art.
Yeah, I've seen it. It looks pretty sweet. If you want to pull it up, but the last kind of, I guess, quote unquote big title that Game Freak did that wasn't Pokemon was that Little Town Hero, and it flopped brutally.
I don't even remember what that was.
Yeah, it flopped brutally. So I mean, them pairing up with a studio like Private Division, I think will be good to get this game on the road. Next thing, the Hogwarts Legacy on Switch has been delayed to November 14th. I feel like this game is going to be an absolute shit show on the Switch.
I don't know why they're trying to release it on Switch.
They're trying so
I know
hard.
why they're trying to release it
money.
on Switch, but stop trying to release it on Switch.
I don't see it running very well.
I just don't either.
I don't think it's gonna run.
I am low key excited for this game to come out on Switch because I just want to see how bad it runs because I just don't think it's gonna run at all.
I mean, they probably delayed it again because it wasn't running.
Exactly.
That, or they're just gonna lower all of the graphics down way worse than they would already have to for Switch.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna get like a PS2 Hogwarts Legacy on Switch.
That's probably what it's gonna be. We did have a reveal and gameplay trailer for a character in Tekken 8. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Zach, who is that?
Now I've always pronounced it wrong. I'm pretty sure. Hwailong.
Okay. Yeah, I have no clue.
I've always just said how wrong.
How wrong? Okay. Yeah. Well, we got the reveal and gameplay trailer, so shout out to that.
Yes, I actually watched it.
I didn't watch it, but I'm excited to watch it. I've always liked him as a character.
I do like his new character design.
I haven't checked it out yet, but I will 100%
I like
be watching it.
I like a lot of the new character designs.
All good across the board?
For me personally, yes.
So far, I've liked
because
all
I mean,
of them.
you can definitely tell that they've aged it, which
Right.
is fairly significant since we haven't had a new Tekken in almost like 7-8 years.
Yeah. Okay. Still talking about fighting games here. Mortal Kombat 1 is apparently the next Mortal Kombat game. It is targeting September release, revealed in the next few weeks. Peacemaker and Homelander, potential guest characters. PS5 series and Switch. Can't wait to see a Switch version.
It's gonna be bad.
Oh, it's gonna be bad.
The past Mortal Kombat games that they've tried to
11
release on
was
Switch
was not good
Have
on
been
it.
rough.
The only thing that you could potentially do on it really was like go into training, and even that was laggy.
Yeah. Ed Boon, the co-creator of the series, is the one that teased Mortal Kombat 1 with a video with a clock ticking, briefly stopping at 11, then skipping 12 and going straight to 1. I think I put going start to 1, but going straight to 1. So that's why everyone is thinking that it's going to either be a remake or just a reboot of the series.
I mean, that would make sense because of how they went in Mortal Kombat 11. The only thing I could think of them going forward was a reboot because it literally, for anyone who hasn't played Mortal Kombat 11 yet, this is a spoiler, they literally delete the in-universe.
Really?
Yes, Mortal Kombat 11 story ends up making Liu Kang Thunder God Liu Kang, and he beats the big villain, who's a whole time sorceress thing, and literally beats her at the beginning origin of the world of Mortal Kombat and starts anew.
Okay, then yeah, Mortal Kombat 1 is what's
Yeah,
happening.
With Katana.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense, like story wise, and I mean, at this point, it just kind of makes sense to do because you can just do a reset, get back to your base roster of characters,
Yes.
get it,
Yeah.
it like kind of
Give people new looks.
yeah. It's like it's the same thing like all of the major fighting games are doing right now.
Yes.
With their new releases is giving it a fresh coat of paint. Really,
Right.
give your characters new designs, update it. It's like have it updated. It's like and then this is a good way to have like create new characters or something.
Yes, into the universe.
Or just have them there, and then you don't have to rely on necessarily. I mean, of course, people will be going like, "What about this character? What about this one?" It's like, well, that's a different timeline. It's like those characters don't exist here.
Right.
Or they never became fighters or something like that.
It's like it's a excuse to like try something new with like new character designs. You can go a totally different way with it if you want to.
And I don't know how guest characters work in Mortal Kombat, if they're just like always available at the start or if they some come later kind of thing.
It's usually a season pass thing.
Okay. Well, then yeah, I could definitely see Homelander being a potential when The Boys Season 4 comes out later this year.
Oh,
So
yeah.
line
And
that up.
I mean, Peacemaker and Homelander. When I saw those, I was like, makes sense.
Those
Yeah.
feel like Mortal
It's-
Kombat guest
it was
characters.
like Peacemaker. Peacemaker was fairly popular, and he kind of fits in. It's like they've had characters that could be considered like similar.
They
in a-
had the Terminator one year.
well, yeah,
Then they went through their round of serial killers.
Then they also had the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh, they did, didn't they? That's right.
yeah. Homelander.
Actually, I may be wrong. That may have been Injustice.
it was Injustice.
Was it? Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
Homelander is one that it makes it kind of makes sense, but then when you kind of step back, it's like okay, that also feels like an Injustice character.
Yes.
True.
As opposed to Mortal Kombat, but who knows? It'd be cool to have like that different of a character be in there.
Right. Next thing in the weekly wrap up is Kojima is at it again, trolling people. His favorite thing to do on Twitter. He tweeted a photo of an official Twitter account belonging to a movie called Poor Things, and their profile picture is just the letters PT. And then he also put up a photo of that logo of that profile picture. No context at all. Just the picture of the Twitter account plus their profile picture. Just upload it,
Speaking
no
of people
comment.
paying dumb amount of money for things, I don't remember the last time I checked the price on a PlayStation 3 or 4 with PT on it.
Oh my god, dude, that's got to be high as shit.
I know those prices were stupid high at one point.
That was a very skyrocketed thing. For anyone unaware of what PT is, it was Kojima's game he was working on that was essentially his Silent Hill, right? They got that canceled. There was, hence the name, there was a playable like tech demo, playable teaser. That you could download at the time on the PS3. That was pulled from the shop when the game was canceled.
Yes.
So anyone who had like downloaded, they still have it. So those PlayStation 3s that have that PT demo run for an ungodly amount of money.
It was the start of Kojima and Norman Reedus's budding relationship.
Basically, exactly. So little history lesson for everyone here. Next thing, the company D-Brand has released a set of a clone of the Zelda decals that go from the Tears of the Kingdom Switch that you can put on either a Switch or a Steam Deck. But the funny thing is, the letters that they have, the Hylian font that they put on there, literally spell out "Go fuck yourself, lawyers." This company says that they're using the power of plagiarism to address one of the world's most lawsuit-happy companies. Good luck. That's all I can say to that. This is a situation of don't poke the bear. Like, I'm just being real. But I will say, hilarious. I do like how you can buy a decal to put on your dock that says "Go fuck yourself, lawyers." That's pretty funny. But
Hey man, if there's one thing we've learned, oh fuck with Nintendo, man.
just don't. They will find a way to fuck your life like that one dude that's got to pay like however many millions or dollars for the rest of his life, whatever.
That's the thing. It's like Nintendo may not come after you, but you're done pissing them off, and they're gonna go after someone else now, and that person's gonna get fucking railed.
Yeah, that's so true. Oh, I feel bad for that person. Speaking of Zelda, Zelda Tears of the Kingdom has been beaten 94 minutes. Speedrunners are at it right now. I'm looking forward to seeing what the fastest time is going to end up being outside of the 94-minute mark. So that's gonna be pretty fun to watch over time. Wanted to throw some Pokemon Unite U's in here. We got Inteleon, Umbreon, and Leafeon all being added to the game. Shout out to that. The original 3 evolutions have not been added to the game. Basically, everything else has to this point. I just want to shout that out because Leafeon's my favorite evolution and probably like one of the least popular ones of all of them. So I thought that was cool that it's getting added to the game. I love Leafeon.
Yeah, it's hard to be a fan of Leafeon when you got Umbreon sitting right there.
Bingo. That's why everyone hates Leafeon. I love Leafeon though, but I also just love my grass types. So I thought that was pretty cool to see. Sharp has announced that they are making LCD displays for a new gaming console. A lot of people immediately wanted to look at like the next Nintendo console.
Nah.
I don't think so because
yeah.
there's that Samsung partnership that I mean they announced it like 2 years ago, and I think that's still a thing, right? Samsung and Nintendo, that should still be a thing in theory.
Yeah.
Nah,
So
we're gonna get the Vita too.
yeah, Sony not using
If
their own
only.
screens, right? I mean, there's that Sony handheld coming, and that was what I immediately thought of. And I just had the dumb real. Oh, Sony has their own screens. Why would they use someone else?
Yeah, but it would be funny.
It would
would
be
be
funny.
funny.
Yeah, it would be funny for Sony's like little handheld cloud streaming, whatever they got, remote play device they're coming out with, not have Sony displays on it. Like that would be funny. But I don't know. Apparently, Sharp's working on something, which Sharp kind of sucks. So we'll see how that goes. Do have some more Sony news I wanted to hit here involving some different layoffs. So this first one's kind of unfortunate because like this was like kind of like it was like it's not hype for us, but it was a pretty like big announcement on Twitter when it happened. But like a newly formed studio called Deviation Games and Sony they partnered up. Deviation Games filled with multiple veterans across the industry, ranging from all different FPS games. They partnered up for a new PlayStation multiplayer IP, and now they've been hit with like 90 plus layoffs. And based on the other piece of news that I have here, which is Final Strike Games also hit with layoffs, and with that, there's a report that Sony has canceled their unannounced sci-fi shooter that they've been working on for 3+ years. So I don't know. I guess Sony's just going around. Just like I have a feeling now, whatever Deviation Games was working on with Sony canceled it.
Yeah.
That's my mindset.
I mean, the other problem is it's hard. It's like, and depending on what the game style was actually going to be or what the gameplay was actually going to be, it's hard to get into like sci-fi shooters or anything like that right now. Because I mean, we got plenty of. It's like we got like a new free-to-play sci-fi shooter or something like that, like PvP game with some PvE stuff to it. It's like we get like a new one every year that comes out that's just free-to-play.
Yeah.
And they all play decently well.
Right.
So I mean, it's one of those where it's hard to. I guess it's hard to justify making like or taking the time to develop a full first-party one if you don't. Like, if you can't guarantee the success of it.
Right. Yeah, that's true. And that's probably what Sony's kind of thinking here with both these games being canceled. Don't even know what Deviation Games was working on. Just it was a new PlayStation multiplayer IP, whatever it was. Don't even know what it was, but it may have also been in the sci-fi universe. Who knows? So, anyway, sucks for all those guys. They got the layoffs. Hopefully they can find some new jobs pretty quick and bounce back. Next up, finish up the show with just a lot of rumors. First thing, Sony Showcase is apparently set for the final week of May. I think May 26th, I think, is the date that I've seen a lot of. And this is going to be, the big one. Like, this is going to be the one where, like, it's going to set the slate for the next couple years of what we're going to be getting. Obviously, Marvel Spider-Man 2 will probably be the final closeout and just give you a full look at that, a hard release date. But other than that, there's a lot of other titles to look at, like that Rise of the Ronin, maybe Wolverine. I've seen kind of been talked about quite a bit. Ghost of Tsushima 2, I've seen talked about quite a bit. There's a lot of titles that are already confirmed, but we've only got a tease as well as just reported. So this is going to be apparently the big one. Next one, Metal Gear Solid 3 Remake apparently will not be an exclusive, but instead it could be a timed exclusive with a marketing deal, but it should be multi-plat. Shout out to that. Resident Evil 9, which its working title is Apocalypse, will apparently star Chris and Claire Redfield and Jill Valentine. A lot of people are pretty excited to see them be the stars for this. And then last, ID Software has been working close with Bethesda to overhaul Starfield combat since last August. The combat is vastly in a better state than it was during the showcase last year. When I saw that, I immediately got worried. It is August of 2022, and you completely overhaul your combat. I was like, oh, God. It's like I'm getting more and more nervous. This game is. I don't think it's gonna be bad per se. Like I don't think it's gonna be like horrible, but I don't think it's gonna be like this absolute goated experience like everyone wants it to be and hoped it would be.
It's starting to sound more and more like I'm gonna be either that I might be one of the best predictions out here.
Yeah, you may have made the best prediction out of all of us by far, because that's the way it's shaping up to right now. Whoo, buddy. We'll see how this goes. I didn't include this on the script, but it randomly popped in my brain. One last shout out is I saw like the numbers, the projected numbers for like GTA 6 just to make it. It's now going to be crossing like $1 billion to make this game. But the thing is, they'll make up that money in probably a week.
Oh, probably.
Yeah, because I mean, like in
GTA,
yeah, like GTA 5,
you
blew
gotta
past
think about
the budget to make the game in a day.
It's like, oh, it's gonna cost us $1 billion to make this game. It's like, dude, you've been the top seller on every platform for GTA 5
For a decade.
for the past decade, and that's not even including like the amount of like
Expansions.
Yep.
and like in-game money that you sell.
Yep.
It's like those packs on their own are top sellers in the DLC categories.
Oh,
True.
You want to buy this new yacht we just released? Buy 3 of the big sharks.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, here's a new plane that'll be $350.
Yep. Oh, also, since you said in-game, I'm glad you said that because it reminded me, since we just mentioned Starfield. Starfield's ESRB rating came out naturally mature and gave, like, obviously all the reasons why. One of them was in-game purchases, which immediately, like, rose a red flag for people. But then it was come back and clarified. It's like that literally has to be included because the game, you know, like in game gives you the option to like buy like the digital deluxe edition or whatever. Like that's the only reason why it's that way. There were people who is familiar with it that came and clarified like that's why it's there. Like it literally has like any game that has that option to buy to upgrade to the bigger version for whatever to get like maybe the DLC pass or whatever it is, whatever, just skins that pack, it has to include that as part of the ESRB. One thing that I thought was pretty interesting with the reasons why is the focus of a fictional drug throughout the game, and like apparently the player will be working in drug labs too.
Yes.
I thought that was pretty funny. So look forward to see how that plays out.
Just like the Payday 2 days.
Yeah, there you go. But that's it for the weekly wrap up. Boys, you got anything else?
No, I think I got nothing.
I got none.
All right. Well, like I said, next week be on a break, and then we'll be back the week after that. Which it wasn't a game that I was thinking of earlier. It was the showcase.
Okay.
I added that showcase rumor like mid show because I remembered it. Oh, that's what I was talking about. So yeah, when we come back from break, hopefully we will have a PlayStation showcase to break down. And if it's as hype as it's apparently made out to be by literally everyone, I feel like we're gonna have some pretty good shit to talk about. So looking forward to that. All right, hit the music. Let's get out of here.
Like, comment, subscribe, rate, whatever your platform allows. It does help, regardless of whether you're listening or watching. And thank you very much. Bye.
Do everything he said and more. And if you made it to the end of the episode with us, thank you very much. And if you're catching this after the fact, you can check us out on Saturdays at about 6 p.m. Central Time. We do these live. So you can come check us out then. Thank you.
Make sure to also check us out on our website, sparky3.com. You can sign up for free. Sign up $5 a month. We appreciate that extra support. Check out Rogue Energy, Tiger's Blood, of course, Rocket Pop, Great Popsicle, and more, all great flavors. Join the Discord. Go over to Agent Inc. Pick up a jersey. We appreciate everything and anything. Subscribe to the channel. Be a friend. Tell a friend. We'll be back in a couple weeks. Have a good one. Bye.